Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really grateful to have you guys join us. Today, we're fortunate enough to have Kevin Woodall with Trigger, Dennis Bonin with Priority One. We've got Danny Vaughn with the FPOS group, and we've got Scott Schaefer here with Eye Control. And I asked both these gentlemen to join us for a quick little kumbaya to share with you why their business has become more successful since Eye Control entered the scene. We have a pretty awesome eye control subsidy being offered through Shift4, and these guys have really been able to use it to their benefit. So the three things that we're going to talk with them today about are how to sell chains, because I've got a lot of you that have said in the past, oh, I can't sell a chain. Yes, you can. I've got the Mac Daddy whale hunters on this call today. Also, how to beat toast. I've heard some of you say, oh, you can't beat toast and you lay down and die. No. We don't lay down and die, we fight. And I've got one of the very best fighters in the world to fight against toast on this call today with Scott Schaefer. And then customer retention. You know, I get a lot of calls from people, we lost another account. And I'll say, what happened? Well, they swapped it out and we didn't know until it was too late. So I've got these guys here to talk with you about how to retain your customers using Eye Control before it's too late and you lose them. So without further ado, let's start with you, Kevin. You brought Eye Control to the table for Future POS about a year ago, I guess. Thank you. Talk to me about how Eye Control factors into the whole whale hunt and how it influences your ability to sell to a new account.
Well, I started selling Future, I guess, in 2013, and I came from the PosiTouch world, and I had a history with Scott where we had Eye Control with PosiTouch, and I noticed that was a gap with Future and kind of an area where we weren't being able to go after it. The enterprise with Future was either hosted by the customer or hosted by the dealer. You're looking at one store at a time. We're just missing that oomph where I could look at all my stores on one screen. I could drill down, I could dump it into an Excel or however I wanted to filter the information, whether it be by store, by region, by state, by customer, and be able to get that information. And Eye Control brings that all together and, you know, really gives you a wow factor when you're talking to locations with more than one site.
Nice. So now, Dennis, you've become known in this channel as a dude that can definitely sign a chain. You have a pretty big one you recently acquired. How did Eye Control factor into that, if at all? Like, talk to me about that process.
Well, definitely did. First of all, I had my first chain, 25 Church's Chickens, back in, I would say 6 years ago. We failed. We didn't have an enterprise program. We weren't able to deliver a product that they needed to grow with. Next, then I had another chain 4 years ago. I didn't give up and still again used a Vero. It didn't work. Now I meet Scott from Kevin Woodall 2.5 years ago on my third chain. And I told Steve Pritchett, I'm not going to give up. We can do chains. I'm going to figure it out. Scott approached me at the boot camp, as you know. Next thing I know is I keep this chain that I started with 6 restaurants when I started 3 years ago. I have 50 now, and now I have 9 more chains, a total of 10 chains. So once you get in with the chains and you get the right product through Eye Control, now I'm digging in on the inventory and food costs. It's so sticky, it's hard to let us go. And you get the confidence and the passion to grow more chains by knowing that you can do them now. We couldn't do them before. Now I can go after any chain I want with the product that I have.
Now, Dennis, how do you find the chains and get in there? How are you even finding out that there's a chain that's out there looking for a system? And when you do get in, how do you even get them to talk to you? Can you share any secret sauce there?
Sure. Once you fail, you learn, right? So when I failed, I learned. And next thing it gets out there that, hey, I can do chains. Now these agents bring me, hey, I got 5 locations over here. I have 9 locations over here. Again, my biggest chain with 50 locations, 3.5 years ago when I met with them, I only had 6 locations. So it starts small. Now I have a chain. I'm sitting here in New Jersey, freezing, and I'm sitting with a new chain that has 3 under one umbrella. I mean, so it starts coming to you. Once you gather the understanding of what Eye Control's all about, you can go after the chains, or the chains will come to you through your agents, through referral partners. They understand when you drop the names of the different chains you're working with, wait a minute, I know this company over here, they only have 10 locations. Give them to me. I can make them better. Nobody else will take the time to give them the TLC that we're doing with eye control and other products that interface.
So you're basically telling me you got to get one under your belt and be successful, and word of mouth and reputation and referrals is how you get the business.
It grows organically.
Okay. Now, Danny, you have been working with eye controls for months. I remember when I first told you about this back when, and I'm like, you got to check this out. And you were kind of slow to get to it. And then when you did, you fell in love. You've been helping them reconfigure some back office reports from Future in the new eye control dashboard. So I'd like to just get your feedback on the product, having been a really long time dealer in this channel and very familiar with the base Future product. Have you been able to use this to save any accounts? And is it a factor in winning new business for you today?
Well, I think what it's done is kept us from having to address losing accounts by being proactive and being able to go in with our controls and informing the people that we're currently working with, hey, look at this neat new thing that we've got. Look how, especially the reporting engine and the loss prevention. And that really makes them, for one, happy that you're getting back to them, and they're on your mind, and you're worried about them utilizing their product to the best of their ability. And it just gives you, for lack of anything else, just an excuse really to talk to them and start showing them what you have, and it's not a pie in the sky.
Does the technology stack up against our competitors? Like if you get in there and you've got someone that's looking at a different brand, are you able to get them to pump the brakes on that and stay loyal to you when you show them eye control?
I haven't, like I said, really haven't run into a competitor that has anything that eye controls doesn't address.
Okay. All right. That's good to know. Now, Kevin, let me ask you this. You work with a lot of bars and clubs. How do they feel about this product? Does it help their situation? Is this more of a restaurant product? Does it fit all the different things? Does it help you sell new business? Talk to me.
And we can't just think of it as chain business, because this works great for independents too. So, I mean, first of all, the speed of the system. If someone's trying to run a year's worth of data, you know how long that takes in Future. You run any report you want to run in Future, it's typically under 3 seconds to get that information back out. Also, with everything that's happened with COVID, there's 3 things that are on my list with bars and restaurants. It's the cost of product, so item cost, labor cost, which has gone up across the country also, especially where I live in Florida, and theft. And eye control addresses all those things. So even if you're not using a true inventory, which you can, a lot of people are too lazy to do that. But even if you just set up what I call a plate cost or an item cost that's already built into Future, you can see this is what I'm paying for this product now, which is 60% more than I was paying for it a year ago. And this is what margin I'm selling it at. And this is how much I sold and the profit I've made off of it. And that's all just built into eye control. So you can right off the bat say, I need to raise the price of these items. And then the theft control, I mean, just by looking, if a single store, multi-stores, I can drill down and see things, excessive tips, voids, deletions, long ticket times, everything that's right in front of you, and then drill right down to a check level from my laptop. If I'm a late night bar, I might not want to be on site at 2 a.m, but if I'm at home and I want to pull it up, I can pretty much pull up real time and see all this information. I know we did a presentation for one of Danny's chains, and we had grabbed live data from their accounts. And when we did the presentation, the owner was shocked when he saw some of the data we presented to him, and he went right in and they found theft that was happening in some of their stores just from the presentation we did. So there's a lot of data that's already there in front of you with eye control.
So now let me ask you guys all of this. When we're talking about presentations, I remember back in the day, you go out, you do a demo, you're showing the front end, you're showing the back end. It became more cumbersome to demo version 6 cloud out in the field. You're able to demonstrate eye control. So I guess, do you demo it out in the field? Do you demo the future back office anymore? Or have you decided to kind of supplement that with eye control? And what's the process now? Dennis, I'll ask you first.
We definitely supplement. So, very little is done on the back office with Future now. It's just a few basic things that we go through. Eye control is taken over that process. I'll be honest with you, the 50 locations that I have and started with 6, I would not have to this day, because the enterprise program that's built into the software would not adequately give them the information they need on a daily basis. Even the founder is involved with Scott and working with him to find out what they sold. So every time I go out and sit down with, like Kevin said, it doesn't have to be a chain. I have 8 bars coming up, and we just did our first go live yesterday. They're using eye control. The guy is very analytical, the owner, with his money. They want to know where everything's going. They want to know their payroll in real time. They want to know what they sold, how much they sold. You can drill down on tickets, discounts, comps, like Kevin said. So eye control's become really that back office for Future.
So you don't have to demo back office anymore. You can do a
Nope.
demo anytime, any place from your cell phone.
I do it on my phone. I try not to show anyone else's sales, so we have a demo, Scott can set you up with a demo account. But once you learn the product, Lord have mercy, you go after 2 locations, 3 locations, it can be a bar, a restaurant, they're going to want it. And I'm sitting here in New Jersey today with 3 chains under one umbrella because part of it because of eye control. They're interested in food costs and inventory.
Okay, so let me ask you, Danny, and then Kevin, are you guys still demoing Future back office out in the field, or are you able to use this on a demo? Danny?
I pretty much use the eye controls for any demo I'm doing, and it comes across a lot. When you can pull up that sales by range report and get to any other report that you need, it is, there's no reason to show anything else.
Okay. Kevin, what about you?
I mean, there's still a need for back office, and I say more at a store level. If you have a manager, programming menu items from a store level, but from an owner level for reporting purposes, there's really no need to look at the back office reporting in Future when you have eye control.
Right.
As far as from a store level and going in and adding employees and making menu changes, especially at a single store, it's easier to do it and show the back office features and have those. But anytime I'm doing anything with reporting, I'm doing it through eye control and showing that, because you have the ease of access, like Dennis said, through your phone. You also have, on your laptop away from where you are. And as Danny said, being able to pull up a demo database and showing that information and how you can filter it, it works great. So there's a need for both, but definitely reporting aspects, I tend to go towards eye control.
Okay, now I want to shift over to the man, the myth, the legend, Scott. Scott, many of our dealers have worked with you on the phone, but they haven't got to see your face. But you are really behind the scenes, a mover and a shaker when it comes to fighting to win the business. I've heard a lot that you are a toast killer, and I was just wondering, any idea, ballpark, how many accounts since our partnership you've been able to help our dealers get away from toast or beat toast on, ballpark?
I would say probably at this point about 10, and some of them are especially with Dennis, we killed 2 or 3 big ones in there, but I would say probably 10 accounts right now.
Okay, now
we say that was new business, not saving business.
Okay, let me ask you, what are you saying to them to get them to walk away from toast? What is it that you're doing?
I think at the end of the day, it really comes down to the basics of selling point of sale. Very intent on basically interviewing the customer and finding out how they currently are doing their business. Where, as I listen to them, I find out where their sticking points are. I listen to them where their problems are. And then when I go to do the demo, at that time I will say, okay, here's where you're getting stuck right here, and now you can do it this way. And they say, oh, okay. But more than anything else, it's just really listen to the customer and show them how they can use our product to make them more efficient so they're not stuck in the office all the time. Probably the biggest thing, the biggest wow factor is, like Kevin alluded to, when you go in and I know with one of Danny's customers, I was doing a loss prevention training, and we found an employee that was stole $7,000. Well, that's not chicken feed, and at the bottom, you know, or you go into another account and at the end of the day, you go in there and you find out, you know, they're misusing voids or discounts, and you show them, you know, the product. And
yeah, I love
make
that you're willing to get in and fight for these deals. You're willing to get in and actually help the dealer get in and win the business. Sorry, that's my child Emma. Just gonna silence her.
I would say the biggest thing is that you know, just going in with the attitude, you know what, toast, you know, toast is toast, and I always stress, I tout the dealer, local support. It's Friday night. I've been in the business. You're slam busy, and now you have to go on the phone and try to fix your system when you should be out there running your business. And the power of the local support, along with you know, we have over 30 live reports, and I tell the customer, yeah, 30 live reports on your mobile phone to run your business.
I love it. Now, Dennis, I'm curious, what would you say the biggest selling feature? Pick one feature out of iControl that's going to get them into a chain and beat Toast in a chain. What would you say it is?
I would say customized reporting. One of the key factors with my chains is they all have their own little quirks of how they want the report to look. Like I got a request today for a new chain. I've got 7 locations. They're growing 100. They want to put royalty fees. They want to put branding fees in. They want to customize their report. Scott goes back to the drawing board, and a week later has a customized report. You cannot do that with Toast. You cannot do that with Aloha. We are a TLC, iControl custom reporting, and that's because Scott and John have the passion, and Kevin, to manipulate the reporting for the customer and listen to the customer what the needs are and give an end user product that works for them.
So then let me ask all of you, is it difficult to learn how to use iControl or to implement it in a business? Is it tough to train the end users? Talk to me about that process. Kevin, tell me, is it hard?
No, it's very simple. And Scott's been great. He'll go with any dealer, do a presentation with them. I mean, when we do loads at a site, it's taken around 10 minutes, and that's maybe 15. We're doing at least a year's worth of history when we run that. So, I mean, super easy to load, super easy to train the dealer how to do it. And Scott will set up and do presentations for both chains and dealers to learn how to use the system. And then they have they have great documentation on how to set everything up and the new dashboards and how they operate. And the product is constantly growing too, and they're making changes. So it's not stagnant at all. And Scott has helped either customers or dealers anytime they've asked.
So Danny, let me ask you, you deal with a bunch of support issues with iControl?
Not at all. And anything that I have found has been addressed immediately. I mean, I text Scott or give him a call and send him an example of what we need to do. We just talked the other day about increasing the font size on the sales by range report because we had a customer that was complaining about that as being the only reason she ever looked at the back office reports anymore. And I just emailed Scott before the meeting that everything looked really good with the report that he sent me. So
then if it's not difficult on that end, Dennis, you've got a pretty sizable team there. How difficult was it for your team to learn the product and embrace that and start promoting it once you made the decision? Is it hard for your sales reps to learn how to demo? Was it simple? Give me a quick feedback on that, if you don't mind.
It's fairly simple. I've got 6 employees trained on it now, 4 new ones learning. We'll probably have, by the end of November, 10 employees trained on iControl. I've have 100 locations with 0 tech support issues, 0. Alls I get is compliments on the product. And the other thing is, if they don't get their report in the morning because the internet went out or something, Lord, you think it's the end of the world. They got to have that eye control report. So we've got certain steps in place to make sure that Scott's got it set up that if it's not pulled in the morning, we make sure we go back in and get that information pulled, because that customer is expecting it. And that falls on our side of the fence or the internet. It doesn't fall on eye control. But we actually have a meeting tomorrow, a corporate meeting with 3 chains, Scott and I, at 4 o'clock tomorrow to go over eye control and all the things that it in phases to, working through food costs and inventory for them. And so I'm excited about, and remember, when I say chains, only 4 locations for one, 10 for another, and 75 for another. But they all want to build 200 locations each. So we're starting at the bottom.
That's huge. Now, okay, real quick, I've got 2 more quick questions for you guys. Gateway customers, have you guys, any of you, had any luck moving a customer from the gateway to a fully processing with shift 4 scenario by using eye control as the motivator? And if you haven't, that's okay. But I'm looking for, do you guys think that this would get somebody to go that's just on the gateway and come over to full acquiring using this as a motivator?
Absolutely. I mean, and I have done that. And you come in with the word free, like you shift 4 processing, eye control is free instead of $60 a month or $70 a month, whatever. And that includes, if you want to have some of the interfaces going into it, and they're also adding more stuff. So you say free EMV readers, free eye control, and if they especially have more than one site, I mean, they're just looking at dollar amounts. It's an easy switch.
Kevin, you're right. I use it as a lead in for the processing. I haven't had the issue of moving from gateway to processing, but that's how I seal the deal with my processing, is by utilizing our processing. You get all these freebies, and the major player is eye control.
So guys, one of the things, and I guess I'll go to you, Scott. I think everybody needs some training on this, and we were looking at a tentative 2nd week in November for some eye control boot camp action, doing this remote. In the meantime, if somebody wants to get in touch with you and work with you and utilize your experience and your expertise to fight the good fight, what's the process there to start working with you?
Well, first of all, the customer will reach out to me saying that they need help, maybe training the customer, or they're going after a new customer, and so they get in touch with me. I absolutely need to know as much as I can before I speak to the customer of what they know about the customer, what their feelings are, so that when I go in, it's just like I'm going in as a salesperson, with knowledge. And then once I get with the customer, then I further interview them. But I'm here for future, and like these guys said, and I appreciate all of you. Whether it be a customer, whether it be a technician, whether it be a dealer himself, any one of the 3 can call me or email me, and I'll do my level best to try to help. And I'm really proud of the work that my partner has done to be able to give you all a software that doesn't break, and also that it's something that you can be proud of when you go out now, because of the dashboards. The dashboards are a game changer. They can create their own dashboards, create their own reports. We do all the data mining for them, and we're soon, maybe 2 weeks out, we're going to solve the problem of the auto email reports. That will be inside of eye control, and the dealers won't have to deal with setting up mailing out reports anymore. So we're always striving to do better.
And if you guys, from the beginning, when we first started this partnership to today, I believe that the look and the feel of eye control has evolved drastically. Would all of you agree?
1,200 sites.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, guys, I'm so grateful that you took time. I could sit here and talk to you about this forever, but eventually people would drop off the webinar. So we're just going to have to do more of this in eye control training here middle of November. In the meantime, thank you for sharing this insight with the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Thanks, everybody.